okay with a special segment on the Wednesday week this week. I am talking to Adam, who is from the Sheffield Wednesday Armed Forces Supporters Club. That is quite a mouthful to say out loud, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you for chatting with me, Adam. Obviously, I know this is so new and you've just kind of come up with the idea over the last couple of months. Can you just tell me a little bit about what you're trying to do? And I know you're doing some fundraising as well.
So the key thing behind it is we've got a massive community at Wednesday who are all forces, ex-forces serving. And I chat to a lot of them most weeks anyway when I'm moaning about the games. So I just want to bring people together. You hear a lot on social media and the press about ex-servicemen struggling with mental health, that kind of thing. And I thought, the numbers are there, why not try and bring people together? Because one thing you do miss when you leave the forces is kind of the banter and just the general chat between each other. It's different to a civvy office. It can be quite brutal at times. You've got to be thick-skinned and stuff, but it's something people miss when you leave. And I was 5 years in the Navy, left at a young age, and always regretted it. And the one thing I missed was the kind of camaraderie.
Yeah.
So that was a big kind of motivator for me.
I think the mental health thing, I was going to pick up on that in a bit, but that for me is something that is so important. Especially, I've got a lot of friends and family who are ex-forces, and we can all, everyone struggles different, and everybody, nobody's got more than others, and everyone's got the right to feel as upset as they do. But obviously with the forces, I can't even begin to imagine the sort of things that you guys have had to deal with, or try and just get on with as part of the job that I don't have as a marketing officer. And so it must be something that have you found that already people are reaching out to each other?
Yeah, and people are coming to us, which is really nice. We get a few messages in the inbox, and even if it's just people wanting to meet up for a chat before a game, or want to engage with us on Twitter, for example, it's just someone you can talk to who kind of understands it. Like you said, there's a lot of people that you'll meet day to day that have served or have served that have experienced stuff that you can't even imagine. I'm lucky in my career so far. I've not really done many horrible things, so to speak. But I know people that have, and it blows your mind how they can function day to day. So you can understand people struggling. Me and Adam are actually looking into mental health first aid courses at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I've done that myself, got my certificate behind me.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, we're looking to do stuff like that. So, yes, we kind of live the situation they kind of used to. But if we can be a bit more like clinical with it and know the advice we're given is right, rather than just blagging it, all the better.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really good, great course. I would recommend that to anybody. It's something that, had I have done it 2 weeks earlier, I might have been in a different position with a family member. So it is something that I absolutely recommend. So where are you at now? Because obviously, as I can see you're in some sort of uniform, unless.
Yeah, I'm at work. I've literally just finished. It's a bit of a dingy office, but I've put that up just to get a bit of colour in it.
So what do you do now? Are you still involved in some sort of military?
Yeah, I'm in the army now, so I left the Navy. A lot of young people, when they join the forces, they think the grass is greener after say 4 years, and they leave and then realise being a civvy is bloody hard work. So I got myself back in a couple of years ago, so I'm back at the bottom of the pile, but I'm so much happier mentally. I think it's been part of something bigger than yourself. I was getting a bit frustrated going into civvy jobs and kind of hitting the ceiling where you're waiting for someone to retire or die to progress, and that's what it felt like sometimes. So I took a pretty hefty pay cut to come back in the forces, but money doesn't make you happy, and that will come again.
And it's obviously in your blood, because everything that you seem to do is revolved around the forces. So how many members have you got at the moment?
See, it's hard to put a proper number at the moment, so we're just coming up with a website in the background where we can properly vet members, get them involved, and get kind of solid numbers. But Twitter's been going on for under 2 months, so we've got over 1,000 followers already.
Right.
And the female community has been brilliant, to be fair, and everyone seems to be taking us on board, and not just people from the forces, people that have had family members, etc. We feel really well received, so yeah, it's all been really positive. But for members that are in the pipeline at the moment, we need to get that more formalised.
Yeah, and you're working with the club, I assume. Are they being helpful?
And they're not being unhelpful. It's just early days. Early days. We're in contact with a couple of people. We're just trying to figure out who the best person is to be involved with. We sent some of our like short-term plans over to the club recently, and we're just waiting for them to come back to us with that kind of things we want to give to our members, essentially. So at the minute, the club are really good at looking after serving personnel. So see, it's things like that, memberships and stuff, really good stuff from the club. Like my season ticket for next year sorted, and I could not turn down that price. It was unreal. But I want that up to veterans if possible, because they probably need it a little bit more than us in some cases. Especially the old ones that have served a full career, might be slightly retired now. They'll benefit from the cheap season tickets. And if they've served their time, why shouldn't they? Essentially, Spurs do a really good Armed Forces Sports Club, and we're in contact with them quite a lot.
All right.
They've kind of given me some things to work towards that is a given for them, but maybe a little bit harder for Wednesday to do because it's very different clubs. But things like Armed Forces membership, for example, I want that to be free. Those benefits, because it's not a big ask to the club necessarily. They're not going to miss out financially, but it's a big gesture from the club. Little things like that.
Yeah, and I mean, the club have always been really supportive of things like, Veterans Day and stuff like that. They've always got involved, haven't they? So hopefully we can try and lead the way, and with you guys fronting it, try and do something in League One, maybe the Championship, who knows?
Yeah, whatever league we're in, we're all Wednesday, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. So one of the other things that I wanted to ask about was the fundraising side of things. Now, you've chosen a local charity to support. So how are you going about the fundraising? I retweeted today, there was a badge that you're giving out that people can buy for the bags and stuff.
Yeah, that's just so small that I'd seen done before. So that's, tip of the iceberg kind of stuff, whereas it won't raise a great deal, but that's just to get started. Initially, me and Adam will talk about what kind of charity we want to work for. And we decided we wanted something local that would see the benefit, hopefully, and the supporters would benefit from, and they'll see the value in that. It would be easy for us to just say Help for Heroes or British Legion, for example. But we wanted a bit more of a community aspect to things. So we've gone with the Essex Food Bank, which is already feeding over 1,000 people a week in Sheffield across its, I think it's 11 or 12 sites, which blew my mind, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's shocking. I go on a rant about that on a regular. I think the fact that this even exists in Britain in 2022, and the fact that there's what people now refer to as like food bank porn, like where you get in, I think it was Tesco the other night that did an advert saying about how much they were giving to food banks. And I was like, how is that an advert on primetime television that we're raising money for food banks? I just cannot get my head around it. And then I think somebody else said there was something on Anton Deck the other week where they were giving away a percentage off your energy bills and stuff like this. And I just thought, wow, this is appalling. Like, obviously Essex Food Bank do a lot of collections at the club, and I always go up with my tins and whatever when they're around, but just to even think that that's something that's happening, and like you said, it's 1,000 families,
it's only going to get worse as well. When you look at the fuel prices, energy prices at the moment, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have to turn to them, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you need the help, go and get it. That's what it's there for, and that's why we want to raise money for them. We did initially say we could try and maybe pick a charity per year to look after, but it might become like we need to keep on with this one if it's going to better serve the community. That's why we've picked them. But we also want to do things around the community where possible, a bit of volunteering, get our members to get involved. We're going to do things like memorial cleanups as well. But we've got one of the guys out scouting for ones that need a bit of help sooner rather than later. Yeah, just want to get everyone involved.
That sounds great. So if listeners want to get involved or make any donations, how do they contact you basically? What's your Twitter handle?
Oh God, it's such a mouthful as well. It's SWFC AFSC on Twitter. You'll be able to find us. We've got a link tree on there, which will show you our Facebook as well. We're on Facebook. And there's also a link to the charity on there as well. Give us a follow, drop us a DM if you want to know anything. If you just want to chat, you want to come meet us on a match day, anything like that.
Great, thank you so much. And I will share the link from our Twitter as well, just to make sure that people can see that. Great, thank you for talking to me today, Adam. I will just stop.